Have you ever stopped to watch a bird that seemed to be doing absolutely nothing? He's there, on a branch, motionless. He's not eating. He's not singing. He's not flying. He's not interacting with any other being. He's just there. And you look for a few seconds, wait for something to happen, and when nothing happens, you leave. Because the scene seems empty. It seems like there's nothing to see. And that's exactly where you made the mistake. The bird on that branch wasn't doing anything in the sense that you understand nothing. It was processing, monitoring, evaluating, filing, building, in a state of engagement with its surrounding environment so dense and continuous that placing the word boredom alongside the existence of a bird is almost a biological absurdity. Most people believe that birds are simple beings that repeat automatic behaviors all day until dark. This belief is wrong in a way that will surprise you. What a bird does with the hours of the day is not routine. It is a form of consciousness that modern humans have lost access to and that science is only beginning to name. Welcome to Wild Mind, the channel that exists to reveal what pulsates beneath what seems obvious. Subscribe now so you don't miss what science discovers every week about the beings that share the planet with you. Turn on notifications and stay until the end of this video, because the last point isn't just about birds. It's about you, about what you forgot to do with your own time. There is a jackdaw, female, young, that lives in an urban area in Northern Europe. One morning, researchers monitoring her via telemetry recorded something that wasn't in line with the expected protocol. She spent 40 minutes pushing a stick into a crack in a wall. There was no food inside the crack. There wasn't another bird competing for the space. There was no immediate functional reason for that action. She simply pushed the stick, observed what happened, removed it, changed the angle, pushed it again, experimented. What the researchers were observing had a name: exploratory play, a form of interaction with the environment that has no immediate objective beyond testing, discovering, and accumulating information about how things work. It's the same impulse that makes a human child take apart a toy without intending to fix it. This pure curiosity, operating without immediate reward, investing time and energy in building a mental map of the world. And the crow wasn't alone in this. Corvids in general, crows, jays, demonstrate in the laboratory and in the field a willingness to explore new objects, solve problems without guaranteed reward, and return to challenges they previously failed to try different approaches. Their brain's reward system isn't activated solely by the outcome. It's activated by the process, by the attempt, by the moment a new connection is formed. In neuroscientific terms, they experience something functionally analogous to what humans call intellectual satisfaction. The act of discovery is, for them, its own reward. There is no such thing as boredom when the process itself is the destination. But the crow doesn't build this map of the world alone. And it's when the group enters the scene that a bird's day reveals a social dimension that goes beyond any idea of automatic routine. Corvids exhibit documented cultural transmission behavior. When an individual learns a new technique, such as using a stick to extract insects from a shell, or how to open a specific type of packaging found near urban garbage cans, this knowledge spreads. Other members of the group observe. They imitate. They modify, they improve, and the technique is passed down from generation to generation not through genetics, but through social learning. It is culture, in the sense that biology can validate it with data. But what makes this idea even more disturbing is this. Research in Japan has documented crows that have learned to use car traffic to crack nuts. They land at intersections, place the nuts on the asphalt, wait for cars to pass and crush them, wait for the light to change, get off and eat. This behavior emerged in specific individuals, was observed by other members of the group, and is now documented behavior in urban crow populations in multiple cities around the world. No human taught this. No genetically encoded instinct produced this specific behavior. An individual experimented. The group learned. The culture formed. A day in the life of a flock of birds is not a series of repeated actions on autopilot. It is a permanent school where each interaction with the environment is potentially a lesson that can be passed on to those who come after. And while all this cognitive and social process is happening, What each of these birds is perceiving from their surrounding environment transforms the concept of boredom into something biologically impossible for them. Remember the 4 photoreceptors in the retina, including the one sensitive to ultraviolet light? Every surface you see as monochromatic is, for them, a mosaic of information that changes with the time of day, the angle of the light, and the air temperature. The garden you look at through the window and see as static, they see as a constantly changing environment, painted with a color channel that you don't have access to. Their auditory temporal resolution is up to 10 times greater than that of humans. The silence of midday that you perceive as an absence of sound, they hear as a dense composition of overlapping frequencies. Insects in motion, roots absorbing water, pressure variations that indicate the weather changing in hours, and the Earth's magnetic field, which they perceive as an overlay in their visual field, means that every change in position in space subtly alters the texture of what they are seeing. Each branch is a different point on a grid of information that covers the entire planet. To become bored, you need the environment to stop offering new information. The environment of birds never stops. It is never the same from one second to the next. Their world is relentlessly rich, too rich to produce the emptiness that boredom demands. But here's where science contradicts the most comfortable narrative about birds. The popular idea is that birds don't get bored because they are too simple for it. That boredom requires a type of reflective awareness that birds don't possess. That they live in an eternal, automatic present where each moment is filled with instinct and there is no cognitive space for the experience of emptiness. This narrative is wrong in a way that has serious implications. Studies with parrots, corvids, and starlings in captivity have documented behaviors that researchers describe as behavioral stereotypies. Repetitive, functionless movements that arise in environments with insufficient stimulation, repeatedly swaying, walking in circles, plucking their own feathers. Behaviors that only emerge when the environment does not offer the level of complexity and novelty that the nervous system of these animals was built to process. In other words, they do get bored, but not in the vague and passive way that modern humans experience boredom. It's an acute, biologically disturbing boredom that the body expresses in dysfunction because the brain was built for a level of engagement that the impoverished environment doesn't offer. The bird on the branch that seemed to be doing nothing wasn't bored. It was processing a world too rich to ignore. The parrot in a small cage that rocks incessantly is expressing the absence of that same world. The difference between the two is the environment, and what each of us chooses to offer. Now expand on that, because the question this video asked about birds is actually a question about something completely different. How much time do you spend each day genuinely engaged with your surroundings? Not consuming, not reacting to notifications, not filling time with passive stimulation. Genuinely present, with all your senses active, processing what the moment offers. Birds don't need to learn how to do that. They have no choice. Their nervous system was built for total presence. Their world is too rich to be ignored and too demanding to be processed on autopilot. Every second they exist is a second of real engagement with the real environment. Modern humans have built a world that offers enough stimulation to eliminate silence but not enough to produce presence. We fill time without inhabiting time. We look without seeing. We hear without listening. And we call this being busy. The bird on the branch you looked at for 2 seconds and thought wasn't doing anything was actually doing more than you were doing at that moment. It was completely present, in an incandescent world of information, with no hurry to go anywhere else. Because there is no other place. There is only this branch, this light, this second. There's something we've lost that they never lost. And perhaps the most important question isn't how birds spend their day without getting bored. Perhaps it's, when was the last time you spent an entire hour without needing to be distracted from where you were? Leave your answer in the comments. Be honest. Just 1 hour. When was it? We read everything. And if this video touched you, share it with someone who also needs to remember to be present. The Wild Mind is here every week. The next video is coming soon, and it goes even deeper.